Hello, cosmic friends. We're back again with Interstellar Chats, our favorite podcast. We're so happy you're here. I'm your host, Carlene Saelg, and I'm also here with co-hosts
Kristin Anderson
and
James.
Hello, everyone. We're so excited for you to be here. We're just going to fly by the seat of our pants today and just kind of have a discussion about whatever comes up. And Kristin, tell us what happened with you, with your dream you had. So maybe we'll start there.
Yeah, so I had this dream last night. Okay, I'm gonna expand a little bit more. So I was sitting in a cafe. It was at like the corner of a dead end. And so the cafe was on one corner and there was a doorway on the other corner. Just a cement brick doorway. And I was noticing people going in and out. And it was as if I was sitting at the cafe in a time lapse and the door got bricked up. But I knew that there was a door there, but there was no longer a door there, right? But the cafe was still there. Then I kind of found my way back to my room and I laid down, I went to sleep. And then I began to feel going through this brick wall. And I could feel it in my body. I was like, oh, this is what it feels like. And I said, this is it. This is it. And it was almost as if I actually was having that out of body experience, but was realizing it as I was in it.
Mm-hmm.
I became aware that I had left my body in that moment. And I went through the wall and there was still some shady stuff going on in there. It didn't feel very friendly. So I left.
Ooh.
And then
was it just a feeling, or did you see anything, or what made you think, oh, this isn't so good?
I feel like I might have seen like a blue shirt person and maybe a table, maybe like a steel table. And I was just like, I'm out. And I went to go back to my room and I couldn't find my room. And I knew that my child was, Pierce was in the same vicinity as where my body was. And I needed to find my way back to my body.
Right.
Yeah. And so I was like, I need my body. Like, I need my body now.
So what did you do?
I woke
Suspense.
up. It was like, boom. And then I woke up
and then
I was
in
like,
your body.
I was in my body in my bed. And I was like, well, that was weird. And the feeling of going through the wall was like, I felt it like cellularly it was like a top down kind of feeling. And there was sound. It was like
oh, I totally know what you mean, because when I was in college many years ago, I felt this sensation when I was coming out of my body. It was very slow and deliberate, where, so many times I've come out of my body and that's not the case. But when it first happened, when I first was aware, like lucid, not asleep, not awake, but in that state, I call the in-between, where I was coming up out of my body and I could feel like my being or my soul or whatever it is stretching up through my face. Like I could feel this, like that sound you just made. Like I was coming up through my cells and my blood and my bones and like coming out of my skin being stretched, and here I'm coming out. And I was like moving my head back and forth. And as I was moving it, I was in my body, out of my body, in my body, out of my body. And it was that weird sensation of like, how is this happening? It feels so real. The texture of it was not a dream. Right?
That's how I'm feeling about what it was last night. It was very real. More real. I mean, dreams, you can sort of feel the difference between a dream and an actual experience. They're very different. And this just felt really real.
Well, I'm with you on that. What do you think, James?
It sounds like, so we talked about multidimensional living last time, and it just sounds like another experience. That's just really what our dream state is that we have different abilities in our dream state and we're living a different life.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
But I think it's strange when you feel your body in such a different way. Like you're not feeling solid.
Yeah.
Like you're coming through that solidness into something a little higher, a little, maybe the frequency is higher. So we're more in our light body instead of being in this dense 3D body.
Yeah, I'm wondering because the other times that I've definitely have come out of my body, I hadn't had that feeling. I was just out and I was light and I was floating.
Right.
And I knew I was out of my body. But I didn't have that feeling like being in the molasses, like
I don't think I've ever had that process feeling of understanding or feeling coming out of my body. I've just been out. All of a sudden, I was outside of my body.
right.
Feeling of my room.
Yeah, so that's only happened to me a couple of times where I felt the pull or the sensation of being stuck or being,
Yeah.
the density coming out of that density.
Yeah.
That I've only experienced that twice, and other times, just like you all, I have just been out, and you're out or you're experiencing something different.
So I wonder if like when you're out and you're light, that's a higher experience, a higher frequency experience. And when we're feeling this peeling, we're kind of almost in between that high end and earth, right? You're peeling out, you're going up to that layer, but you're not quite just boom out yet.
The process.
Yeah, the process.
So interesting. What do you think, our cosmic friends? Give us some comments. Let us know if you've experienced this density where you're having to pull yourself out of your body, or
Right.
just feeling yourself coming out in a weird way. Because I know lots of you have out of body experiences where you just pop out of your body and you're flying above yourself and you see yourself lying on the bed, or you're in another dimension or whatever. We are not the only three.
Yeah.
Lots of us are having these experiences. So do comment, let us know, because we would love to continue this conversation with you guys and see, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing.
There's also the factor of the room that I found, which was like the hidden room, which is interesting because I think in one of the last episodes where we talked about dreams, I also had a dream that I got thrown out of the room and I heard the door slam. It kicked me out. They were like, they didn't say get out. I just woke up to a slamming door. And I have pocket doors in my house. There are no doors. They're all pocket doors and sliding doors.
Interesting.
But I heard that door slam and I was out. So that also was in a way a secret room.
A portal.
Yeah, I mean, or it was closing a door to something maybe you're not ready for.
Or not allowed to see at this time. It's not part of my job right now.
But who's determining whether or not you're allowed?
I don't know. I don't know. But I get kicked out of a room and the door slammed. I'm like, oh, okay. And then last night going in that room and yeah, there was something going on in there. Interesting.
Yeah, because it didn't feel good. So you're like, I'm out. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm gonna go before they come after me.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
So this actually brings up another really good point about using our discernment and using our power. Because if it doesn't feel right, it probably is not right for you to be there. So hightail it out, use your discernment, and don't stick around if it doesn't feel good, because you don't know what you're going to be running into.
Unless you like trouble, and then by all means, hang out and see what's up.
Right? No,
you might be
not for
sorry.
me.
You
Not
might
for
be
me.
sorry later. You'd be like, oh, dang, I saw all those red flags and I stayed. Well,
That'll be a big lesson.
that's your free will there. Good luck with that.
What, James?
I said you'd definitely be learning something.
Yeah, no kidding. The lessons would be big.
Yeah. Yeah. James, you were starting to say before that you were still reeling from a conversation that we had. What was that?
Well, really, it was just about the multidimensional living, and the Mandela effect, which is to me multidimensional living. It's all the different turns that we may have made, but didn't, but apparently we did. So I've really been thinking a lot about the multidimensional living, and uh, it just blows my mind. And it brought me to thinking about the dreams, and I guess that's just really another part of it. It's just another aspect of multidimensional living. We're working something out. We're learning how to hone our abilities and our skills.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too a lot. I had a conversation with my parents about it, and their eyes were like, "What?" Except my dad. My dad's really into it. He's like, "Yeah, yeah." And my mom's on the other side of that. She's like,
I'm interested because you said your dad is 80 years old.
"Yeah."
So tell me what his reaction was, like more than just agreeing. Like, what did he have to say about
Oh,
it?
I think we should have him on the podcast,
Really?
actually. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I think he would really enjoy it because this is his jam, like all the crazy spiritual stuff.
Oh.
So I was talking about how, there are like multiple Earths, and that all of the choices that are a possibility for us to make are happening all at the same time. And that sometimes you'll feel it shift. Have you guys felt that reality shift? I know that we've talked about this before, where it feels like you literally feel it in the time space. It's like a gear shifting. It's like boom, and that you just jumped a timeline. You're like, oh,
I'm so
what?
excited that you said that, because you reminded me. I wanted to bring this up again because I felt like I know that experience as well. Did either you guys watch the movie Butterfly Effect?
Yes, a long time ago.
Long time ago. I have to rewatch it.
Well, so I've been having this thing that's happened for a long time, and I've always just assumed that it had to do with my vision from my brain injury. But sometimes the image that I'm seeing will go like this,
Oh.
back and forth really quickly. And that's only happened every now and then. And it just came to me the other day. I'm like, I wonder if that's me moving into another timeline.
Or even a higher frequency, because it's interesting that you even said that, because
The same thing ish to me. Yeah.
right.
What do you think?
And everyone's, I guess, experience is a little different with how that is. And the only reason I said that was because I was having a conversation at dinner with some new friends we just met. And she was talking about how her eye does that thing where it shakes back and forth or just flutters a little bit when the frequency in the room is high, or when she has become, lighter, more joyous, or that, all the things that make you move into a higher vibration. So that's why I said about the higher frequency, which again is just people's experience, but you're feeling like you're moving into or experience a shift in time, or a timeline.
Yes, and I think that it is what you just said as well, because my particular timeline that I'm on is of a higher frequency, so that's exactly where I'm headed, in my opinion. Hopefully.
Oh, nice.
I wonder if, people who are actively working with, self-growth and actively working on attaining a higher frequency would feel those timeline jumps more. Like, so say people who have had a lot of traumatic experience, who are on that mountain, they're climbing the mountain, they're working their alchemy, so they're going to shift, they're jumping rapidly compared to somebody who's just very happy with the status quo. They might not ever feel it like a jump.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be the same for very low vibrational people, jumping downward. downward.
Yeah, maybe,
Wow. Maybe.
maybe. I mean, that shift that I felt, I can almost hear it. And it's so clear to me, the sound of it. It's like a boom. It's like a boom sound, but also a gear, like locking into place, like a kind of, but deep.
Well,
There's a little gnat, like whack, whack, whack. He's like, this. I'm like, okay, what? What do you have to say?
I was gonna say, I wonder if we could avoid miscommunication or even arguments with people we're close with, whomever it is, when you have a disagreement about remembering something a certain way, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Like, no, you said you were going to do this and you didn't, or you didn't tell me. I don't remember you telling me, like having these disagreements with your partner, with your wife, husband, whatever.
With your parents.
What if we just said, I just remember it differently. Maybe I was on another timeline than you, and we just start from there.
That's brilliant.
And say, let's fix this now, instead of arguing about what happened or didn't happen on your timeline and my timeline, right? We can avoid an argument or two.
Right. Yeah. What can we do right now in this moment?
Just agree to say, okay, that was your timeline. This is my timeline.
Yes.
I respect you. Let's fix it from here. Like, what do we want to happen right now in this present moment?
I mean, and that's the essence of moving forward. If we're going to keep looking backwards, we're just never going to make it forwards. And that reminds me of a conversation during when I was discussing, multidimensionality and these timelines with my parents at dinner the other night. My mom brought up something that I had said to her when I left home when I was 18. She was like, when you were 18, do you want to know what you said to me? Do you want to know what you said to me? And I said, you know what, Mom? I'm not even that woman anymore. Like, I'm not even, every cell in my body is completely different. I don't even know who that person is who would ever even say those things to you. It's not me. I'm evolved. Literally completely different on a cellular level.
Right.
So let's just move forward from here. And she was just like, yeah, that's true.
Oh, she was accepting. She was like, no, you have to hear it.
Yeah, no, I'm like, we're talking about a long time ago.
Right.
We're so different now. Everything is different now.
But I mean, isn't that just evolution too?
Absolutely.
It's just our
But
evolution.
I guess what I'm getting at with recognizing that you had that experience, I had this experience, is a form of better communication, possibly, or just being able to shift and move into that new evolutionary progress where we can say, I recognize and I appreciate what you have to say and what you experienced and where my experience lies. And it didn't line up. So what can we do in this present moment?
Yeah.
Right. So we're maybe learning something.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of like all the pieces of the puzzle that will fit together, right? Our experiences, even if you experience the same thing, are not the same. Even if you have the same parents, your experiences with that is not the same. Your friendship experience is not the same. Your relationship experience is not the same. I mean, I've learned this lesson too many times over. It was like nailed into my head, like, no, it's just you, girl. Your experience is only for you. Everybody else has a different version. And it's supposed to be that way.
Yes, it is.
We're not stamped out clones of each other having the exact same experience. We are supposed to be diverse and unique, and our take on every situation and experience is completely unique.
I mean, there are clones, but for the most part,
they're not us.
We are not clones.
We are the ensouled non-clones. We touched on that last time.
Yes.
Like the
players talk about the clones, right?
Right. The players in the scene who are not, they're not ensouled players. They're like background clones of people. And then actual clones of
Where
people.
I was just trying to remember what they were called again. Isn't it like NPC or something like that? Non-something character. I don't remember
I'm gonna look that up.
exactly.
Can I look that up right now?
Some kind of something like that. Yeah, look it up.
Do some
Right, you're right.
Do it. Yeah, but you know, clones are definitely another conversation that we should have. Do you guys want us to talk about clones? Because we can pick out some people in the mass media, in government and corporations who are clones, and you can tell the difference. So we should have that conversation. I'm just enticing you right now because it's intriguing what you see when you really focus in on what people used to look like, what they look like now, how they used to sound, all the things. It's crazy. It's
Okay,
crazy.
I feel like that is a good place to end this episode and start a new one. What do you
Okay,
think?
yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Awesome.
Okay, guys.
Do you guys want to hear about clones?
Excellent. Okay, stay tuned for the next episode. We love that you're here and that you're jumping timelines with us and learning new communication skills, but we are going to talk about clones now. So hold on for the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to Interstellar Chats.